Hello, everybody. Welcome to Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Gonna wait for some people to come in here. Hopefully, we get some viewers. I know it's Memorial Day weekend. Just want to make sure people are here. Chris, what's up, brother? Appreciate you, man. Always supporting me. Always, leaving comments. Lionel Jackson, man, what's good, man? Hope all is well for you. Definitely want to get some people on here, man. Get some people. Just want to thank everybody, man. Thank everybody for helping me push the YouTube channel. Get things going, get things moving. Everybody knows that, the mission is to save kids from life imprisonment and premature death. Definitely got to get the subscribers up, man. I got people like hollering at me like, yo, what's up with your subscribers? So anybody that, that's listening right now, I'm asking everybody, man, share the channel, man. It's not just my channel, it's our channel. I'm not doing this to make money. I mean, it's all right. I believe it's okay to make $1 if you're making a difference, but, I own a paralegal and prison consultant firm. So I do most of that stuff, make most of my money through that. But the mission is to help other people, man. I see a lot of dudes now talking about, they're helping kids now, but this is something that we've been doing, man. Me and another brother, Cedric Dean, we've been doing this in federal prison where we took a bunch of young dudes, man, and we try to teach them dudes to be real fathers, real men, and real leaders. So this isn't something that I got out of prison. I put a YouTube channel together and started talking about. This is something I did for the last, probably, say the last 10, 11 years while I was in prison. And, like I tell people on some of these videos, I come in, I came out here and seen the whole YouTube platform was like, yo, I can do it, man. I can do this on YouTube because of COVID. So definitely I want everybody to know, want everyone to know that, I'm doing this because I care, man. I care about people. And last night I ended up going to a MMA fight last night, and I seen one of my homeboys from prison, man. He asked me to come down there and watch his son fight. And this was a kid I was in prison with. He did a little bit. He did 5, 6 years. And I seen him there, man. I seen him with all kinds of gold on. He came in the limo with his family. I'm not going to say his name, but, I could look at him and I could tell, man, he was back in the game. And what I mean by the game, I mean the drug game. This brother was back in the game, taking a chance with his life, man. And I had asked him, I said, man, why are you doing this? He said, man, I came home broke, man. I came home broke and I had to do this. And I was just like, wow, man, you have to do this? He said, I got to provide for my kids. And my response was, provide for your kids, but look what's going to happen, man. You're going to be back in prison, man. And ain't no one going to be providing for your kids. So, that kind of touched me. But, and on the channel, man, I do talk about violence because the violence that I experienced is real, man. And I feel like everybody that's been there has a story to tell. But no one can tell my story, man, because they're not the dudes that wore my shoes, man. Most of these people weren't in my position. They didn't go to prison with a 40-year sentence, Jason, man, appreciate you, man. It's not about the money, man, but I appreciate, you donating or whatever, man. We use all that money for a good cause, man. I promise you that. Definitely want the channel, to grow, man. But I can't grow it by myself. I need you guys to help make it grow. And I want everyone to know that I appreciate you. I appreciate, supporting us, when you leave comments. Appreciate all of that stuff. And I want to know what you guys want to know about. I mean, what do you guys want to know about? What interests you? I'm going to have one of my homeboys come over here, man. He's from my city. He did a bunch of the tattoos on my back, man. I'm going to put a tattoo gun together on here, man. Some people ask me about, stuff that people make in prison. So hopefully tomorrow, man, I'm going to be able to do that video. I'm going to bring the dude over that actually tattooed my whole back. Well, not my whole back, but a large portion of it. We'll make a tattoo gun on there. And I'm going to ask him about his experiences because he was in a maximum security federal prison too. And he's seen some violence. He's been through some stuff. And unfortunately, man, we're going to talk about him when he got out and his addiction and what he's doing to try to better himself. And I want people to see, man, I want you to see the things that happen. Like when I talked to Mau Mau, some of you guys were able to see what happened with Mau Mau and how prison affected him. And he was a young man that went to prison and it just destroyed him mentally and emotionally. And then some of you guys were able to see Solo. And when you've seen Solo, man, Solo and Mau Mau both went to prison with 40, 50 years as young men, but you see a difference. You see a difference in Solo and you see a difference in Mau Mau. Two different people, man, two different characters. And I don't think, imprisonment affected Solo in a way where it mentally destroyed him, but it affected Mau Mau and it mentally destroyed him. Talk about healthcare in federal prison. We could definitely talk about that. I was in prison when COVID hit. I was in FMC Lexington when COVID hit. And I actually seen the cops come into prison, come into units and run down the ranges, man, run right outside with people on stretchers that were dying. They didn't know what to do, man. You know, the staff were just like, they just were lost. Everybody was lost, man, and people were dying. Lives were being lost. You know, it was real. What made you give up gang life and become a jailhouse lawyer? Man, that's a story, man, that I should probably do a video on, man. I was involved in, you know, a very vicious act of violence, man. And the SIS guy said that, you know, the dude had died and that they were going to give us the death penalty, me and my homeboy. But the SIS guy was lying, man. The dude didn't die, but that's what affected my life. When he said that dude died, I thought about my mother, man. I thought about my mother and what it would be like for someone to call my mother and tell my mother, hey, we're sorry, but your son, you know, he was stabbed to death. So when I was involved in that's when I was like, man, I don't want to live like this, man. I want to change my life. And I had always been in the law library, man, from the start, for real. I wasn't always a nice guy, but I was always in the law library because I felt like no one was going to fight for my life like I would fight for my life. You know, not no lawyers. You know, there's a misconception about, you know, lawyers and people paying all this big money and these lawyers can do this for you and they can do that for you. There's not a magic motion that anybody can write that can get you out of prison or get your loved one out of prison, man. I mean, you can go in that law library, and I do believe that every single case has a mistake. You just got to find it. And when you find it, that's what helps free people. Unfortunately, sometimes there aren't mistakes, and sometimes you can't get people out. And, you know, I had talked about a brother that I had helped. He ended up pleading guilty. He had a prior drug felony when he was 18, a couple bags of crack. And then he had another felony with like an 8-ball of crack. And then he pled guilty in North Carolina. Bobby. He pled guilty in North Carolina and they gave him life. What lawyer would ever instruct their client to plead guilty and go to prison for life? And man, we fought this dude's case, man, tooth and nail. We couldn't get the brother out of jail. But eventually he was released by Obama on clemency, man. So, you know, I'm thankful for that. Shout out from Australia. Hey, man, the people from Australia are supporting the channel, man. That's what's up. And I really appreciate you. I really, really do, man. I got Convicts Perspective Prison Channel to shout out your channel out in their live stream. That's what's up, bro. Hey, Jason, man, I really appreciate you, man, for real. And let me see, were you ever locked up with any celebrities? I'm going to do a video about that. Some people might not like the fact what I'm going to tell you, but I was with some pretty famous people in prison, man, but famous gangsters. One of them was Whitey Bulger. Some of you might have watched The Departed. I wasn't on the compound with Whitey, but he was in the hole at the same time I was in the hole. And because he was Irish and I was Irish and I had read his books, you know, it was weird that I could actually talk to this dude. And the video clips that people have seen on CNN and MSNBC and Fox News, this dude looked a whole lot older. He didn't look like that, but you could see death in this dude's eyes, man. You could see that he was a killer. You know, Whitey Bulger was a straight up killer. I was also with Steve Caracappa, the mafia cop. Some of you might know who he was. He was the guy that ran the mafia homicide division in New York City. But he was the guy that was going around and killing people for the mob. Yet he was the homicide investigator. How wild is that? I was with him. Some of you might have watched that movie, Captain Phillips, I think it was, or Captain Phelps. I was with that little dude that was on there, the one that didn't get shot and killed. When I first met him, he was calling me John Hinckley. And I'm like, who the hell is John Hinckley? He must have seen a magazine, an old magazine in his country that had John Hinckley on it. And he just related me to John Hinckley. And John Hinckley was the dude that shot President Reagan. So when he was calling me John Hinckley, I had to go find out who the hell John Hinckley was. I mean, I was a little kid when that happened. And he used to always ask me for potato chips. He used to say, John Hinckley, give me potato chip. And I would give him potato chips. The dude didn't have much, you know. Aliana asked, is federal prison better than state? Is it more a luxury way, more of a luxury way? No way. I was in state prison. I went from state prison to federal prison. State prison in New York was 10 times better. It was 10 times better, man. The food was horrible in the state, but the food in the feds is absolutely disgusting. It's just horrible, man. So no, not at all. I don't ever want to be in prison, but if I was in prison, I'd rather be in New York. You can have a TV in your cell. You got peace over there. It is violent at times. I'm going to bring on one of my, old school best friends. He was a major blood gang member, did a lot of time in New York. We're going to bring him on. I got a homeboy that's from my city. They were labeled the worst of the worst in Rochester. Unfortunately, man, these dudes were allegedly killing drug dealers, man, cut their arms off, cut their legs off, stuck them in boxes. I'm going to bring this guy on the show, man. I want to bring him on the show. And he's committed to that, but, hopefully he stays with that commitment. We bring him on, man, so he can tell his story. And, be honest with you, the dude's a hell of a writer. He wrote a movie script. He's got some shows that he's got going on. Some people do bad things, man, but, prison does change people, man. And people walk out. Was DC the deepest car you saw? What cars don't get along? Were you ever able to prevent violence? Actually, man, the DC dudes, they got a deep, deep car, man, because all them dudes go to federal prison. The Serenos and the prisons that I've been, the Southsiders, the Mexican Mafia, to me, man, those were the most dangerous, violent dudes, man. Like, they handled their business, man. Most of them dudes are real convicts, and those are the dudes to me where you're like, man, you better come right if you're dealing with them dudes. Was I ever able to prevent violence? I was, man. So some of you guys that might have watched the video with Gilbert, man, Dog Pound. I think he was my first interview, man. Real good friend of mine. We were able to stop a race war, man, a USP lead between the whites and the blacks over some heroin, man. A dude stole some heroin from a white dude. White dude came and told me, he said, yo, I'm going to pop on this dude. And I told him, I said, hold up, man. Wait till after, Chow runs and come out here. Let me talk to you. This kid was from Ohio, man. He was an idiot, man. He went in there. He popped on the black dude. Really, man, he fucked the dude up when everyone went to Chow. Excuse my language. And it just put us in a bad position, man. We're out there with like 20 white dudes and 100 black dudes. And I promise you, anybody that's been in prison, when something's about to happen, you can feel the tension in the air, man. It's like you could drop a pin drop out. You can hear a pin drop out there, man. And I mean that literally. The guards racked the guns, opened the tower. It was me and like 10 white dudes, man. We had to try to get across the yard to the white section. I'm going to keep it real, man. One of the scariest moments of my life in prison. My feet were sweating. My heart was beating. I seen these white dudes too, man, straight up. Dudes were scared. And I'm like, come on, man. We're going to get across this yard and at least get in our area. And usually in the yard, wherever there's a white area, Mexican area, black area, just keeping it real, man. People got stuff over there, man. We had these big rocks over there. We had, some stuff buried in certain areas in the yard. And I just felt that we were in a better position, man, if we could at least get a weapon. So my goal was to get across that yard and get something, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen, man. Sometimes you can't avoid those situations. But that day we were lucky to do that, man, for real. Toby, man. Some of you guys know Toby, man. Toby was on, we're going to do a part 2 with Toby and look at what prison did to him and how it affected him. The dude went through a lot, man, and I feel his pain. And that's the other thing, man. A lot of people don't understand, man, that when you do a lot of time, man, prison affects you, man. It affects you mentally and emotionally, man. It really does, man. And sometimes it destroys you, man. It makes things hard. And sometimes for me, and I think Toby can relate to this, makes you start not liking people, man, It's sad to say, but, I love animals, man. Animals give me comfort, man. And we could do a show on that. I don't know if people are going to be interested in that, but let me tell you something, man. Prisoners and animals have been since the beginning, right? The Birdman of Alcatraz. Dude, I had a couple pet skunks. I had a pet goose, man. I loved the hell out of this goose. I'd open my window and show him a piece of bread. He'd run down the hill. I know it's crazy, right? For a prisoner, convicted felon, tough guy to have a goose for a pet. And sometimes I'd be sleeping during the count. He'd come down and start hitting my window with his beak because he wanted me to feed him. We could talk about prison pets too, man, because there's a lot of people that got pets in there, tarantulas, lizards, frogs, birds. I seen dudes with birds in there right in their cell. Mice, all kinds of stuff. How are the New York dudes in the feds? Depends on where you go, man. When I was in Raybrook, man, the New York dudes were deep. They ran the prison. A lot of them dudes are bloods. Some of them are respectful. Some of them are disrespectful. All in all, man, when I was in USP Lee, there was a riot between the New York dudes and the blood dudes, and the New York dudes came together with them against the DC dudes. But all in all, man, when you're in a maximum security federal prison, dudes are tough dudes, man. Like my first day when I walked into Big Sandy, and one of the New York dudes, I wasn't there, man, probably 30 minutes to an hour, and the dude slapped the CO in the middle of the day room. And as soon as this dude slapped the CO, as soon as he slapped the cop, all the New York dudes surrounded the cop. And I was like, what's about to happen? So, man, New York dudes are tough dudes, man. You meet some tough dudes from all over the country, dude. And I think I said this before, man. The toughest white dudes I ever seen were from Missouri, man. Them white dudes from Missouri, they're tough dudes, man. Real tough dudes. My grandpa did time in Angola prison in Louisiana. Well, let me tell you something. Angola is probably one of the toughest and most dangerous prisons to be in the country. And I don't say that lightly because I felt that Big Sandy was the most dangerous prison in the country at the time that I was in Big Sandy, man. Big Sandy was when I tell you it was real, man, it was real, man. You could die in there. You really didn't want to get caught without a knife. You know, and for those of you that didn't read my book, as soon as I got there, the captain and the SIS dude, they told me, man, get a knife. And I'm just like, get a knife? Are you kidding me? Get a knife. That was mind-boggling, man. Get a knife. You know, you would think that, you know, these are professional people, but the cops are scared too. Trust me when I tell you that. The cops are scared. When you're surrounded by men that have nothing to lose, when they've lost everything, they don't care. I mean, they'll take your life in a minute. And there were times when I would tell the cops, I say, look, man, I got 40 years, man, ain't never going home, man. Talk to me with respect. And they knew what I meant. And I'm from, you know, and that was a lot of times I was in Raybrook. And I'm from there. I was just like, man, I don't care, man. But, you know, there came a point in my life where I did start caring. But, you know, I was big on respect, man, from the police, from prisoners, man. Respect me because I'm going to respect you. Men respect men. There's been dudes I've seen in prison, man, that have been slapped, man, and didn't fight back. That's mind-boggling. And I used to think, how could this dude ever be a father to his son if he let another man slap him or beat on him? I've seen some wild things in there, man. Are there still real AB members on the yards, or are they all in ADX? Let me keep it real with you, bro. There are some real AB dudes on the yard. When I was in Big Sandy, there was a big homie from California. Bam. I mean, I think I spoke about him before. Dude was, you know, on the convict code, the dude was a good dude, man. To me, he was. Our shot caller at the time, Stevie Burke from Boston, hated the dude, wanted to take over. Honestly, man, we and I'm not just saying this, we had the toughest car over there, man, the East Coast car for white dudes. My celly, Adam Oliveri, man, the dude was an animal, man. And he was a big dude. He's about 6'4", tough dude, man. Dudes like Dennis Mooney was balls to the wall. Dennis would, you know, handle his business. Another dude, man, Ronnie Wilson. We didn't always see eye to eye, but Ronnie was a tough dude, man. We had some tough dudes in our car, dudes that would definitely handle their business. And I'll tell you who else, the Native Americans, man, the Indians, man. Them dudes handle their business too, and they'll stab you, man, stab the shit out of you. Wouldn't even care. Let me see. Are there still real? If I could send a friend in the Fed something, what would he appreciate the most? What's the best thing to send? It depends, man. You know, what can you send a friend in the Feds? If you like sports, man, I'm going to tell you right now, get them that Sports Weekly. USA Today Sports Weekly, got all the fantasy football stuff in there. I mean, that's what I used to like. And for some reason, I like gossip magazines. And I loved pictures, man. When people would send me pictures, prisoners love pictures, man. Pictures just make you feel good, man. John O'Master, I'm a huge dog lover. Been doing pit bull rescue for over 20 years. I know you got a dog. What kind? I got a pit bull, man. My favorite animals, man. I named him after my friend that I met in prison named Bubby from Kentucky. Unfortunately, man, Bubby's done a whole bunch of time, and they just told me that he had stage 4 cancer, and he's dying, man. And there's not much I can do, man. This dude was, you know, a real good buddy of mine. He's like an old Marlboro, man, old barroom fighter, man. And I feel horrible about the dude, man. Ireland in the house, bro. I got to come over there, man. You know, I'm Irish. My father's Irish and German. My mom's Irish, you know, but I guess I identify as Irish. Definitely coming over there, man. I know it's beautiful, but love to come there, man. Salute to the chat, Boston, Massachusetts, 038. 038, man. Dudes get busy, man. Boston dudes get busy. On all ends, man. The Latin King dudes from Boston are tough dudes. The white dudes are tough dudes. Bunch of armored car robbers. You know, black dudes from Boston are tough, man. Do you know a magazine site that ships to the Feds? Man, keeping it real, I can't remember, man, the magazine companies, man, but I'm sure you could pretty much you can get magazines, man. You can order that Sports Weekly. What car was the deepest while at Big Sandy and was running the prison? Hands down, bro. When I got there, the Norteños had just, you know, beefed with the ABs. There was a little riot over there. So the warden took all the Norteños off the yard and brought in the Serenos, the Mexican mafia. And they were the deepest car. And they were the toughest car to me. And for real, man, they really, man, they had a no game policy. They played no games, man. If the big homie told them to stab the warden, they're stabbing the warden. I mean that. What car? Okay. Man, this dude put Buttman on here. Hey, listen, man, you can't You can't get the Butt Man magazines in the feds, man. They don't allow that. Dudes do read that Fat Puffs magazine. You're allowed to get Fat Puffs. The girls aren't naked in there. It's all good, man. It's all good. But no butt mans. Don't send a dude no butt mans. If you're a white dude from a black East Coast hood on the streets, do you have to run white East Coast car, or do they ever run hometown? Let's just keep it real, man. You want to talk about real? We'll talk about that. So let's say you're a white East Coast dude. You're from New York. You come there, man. You can be in the black car, man. You really can. But let me tell you something, man. There's going to be black dudes in the car that don't like you. There's going to be black dudes that will not accept you. The white dudes will despise you. They will hate you. If there's ever a riot between that car and the white dudes, you will be the first person. And, a lot of white gang members refer to white dudes that, run with the black car as gray. It's racially segregated, man, for real, man. And it's still like that, man. I'm just keeping it real. It's still like that. And, there's reasons for that. But, we talk about that on a video. Thanks, Chad. We got the Pitbull connection. The picture I use is my picture here. Okay. Old school farms. It's all because of the support. This is not only our channel, but everyone's channel. Grow it. Yeah, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. I'm asking people to put these videos out. I've done a lot of stuff, man. I wrote the compassionate release motion. I was able to get myself out of prison, get a bunch of dudes out of prison. I wrote the first article about compassionate release where all the federal prisoners are getting out on now. But man, there was major contributors, dude. Like Sean Hopwood's the man on that, man, for real. So, hey, man, the goal is to get dudes out of prison that deserve to get out. And when I was in prison, I would tell dudes, man, if you're out here gambling and you're getting high and I'm not getting you out of prison. But I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to get you out of prison. Because I'm not going to mess up the chance for the dudes that really deserve a second chance by getting you out and you come out here and do some bullshit, man. And, that happened with Trump. Trump had a dude up on the stage. We got out on the first step back, and then the dude almost beat his girl to death, man. So that makes it looks bad on us. I want people to change their perception, man, of prisoners, man. I want you to know that, there's a lot of good dudes in there, dudes that deserve a second chance. I can't let dudes mess it up. And I would make dudes that couldn't pay me, I would make those dudes go to school, man. You want to get out of jail? You want me to do your 2255? You got to come to my Leaders Breed Leaders class. You got to come to the Alternative Violence Project seminar. You got to get your GED. And I remember this vividly, man. I had this dude from Brooklyn, man, big black dude. He's coming to my GED class, and he ended up getting his GED, man. He came outside, man. I got this big old black dude hugging me, man, and he started crying, man, and that was cool, man. To see that. It's just different, man. You wouldn't expect that. And he had wrote that to his judge and said, I never thought a white dude would help me, get my GED, man. He wrote that to my judge for me, actually. I appreciated that. Old school farms. He fired his lawyer for you. Oh, yeah, you're talking about Jinx, man. Yeah, I did Russell Simmons' son's case, man. And he had hired a lawyer. They messed his case up, man. I had like 6 or 7 days to do it. I didn't want to do it, man, but I ended up doing it. He was from New York. I said, man, I'm going to help you, man. I'm not going to let you die in here. You got 25 years. Your people paid. Russell Simmons paid these lawyers all this money. They wrote the wrong name in the motion. They wrote the wrong facts. I went and did it, man. And brother won. He went back to court. He's in court now and hoping he gets out. And, one of the dude that was real special to me, man, his little baby, man, his real father. His real father, man, is a good friend of mine, lived in the cell across from me. I've been fighting this dude's case when I was in there. He got life plus 55 years for a nonviolent drug crime out of Tennessee. I love this dude like a brother, man. He's a black dude, but, man, I love the dude, man. And we're fighting that case, man, and trying to get him out, man. He don't deserve to, be in there. He's been in there over 20 years, man. Dude deserves to get out. Brandon Campbell, thanks for all you do, Chad. I have my children follow you, and we watch your videos daily. Salute to you, man, all the work you do. Yeah, look, man, keeping it real, dude. I'm trying to link up with the detective that arrested me, man, a chick, Teresa Deercop. I want her to get me into the schools, man. Let's get into the schools and talk to these kids, man. There's people out here dying, man. And, unfortunately, man, a lot of these kids, man, had mothers that were 14, 15 years old when they had them. And there needs to be some character education. It's hard to go tell a kid, man, not to sell dope, right? That's broke, that's hungry, that's starving, that ain't got no clothes. I've been there, man. I've been through it, man. My father was a heroin addict, man. My brother killed himself when I was 14. I'm from the hood, man. I had a crack case. And almost everyone on my team was black, man. My best friend was Mexican and Irish. That's crazy, right? What do you mean a Mexican Irish dude? That was my best friend, man. He was my co-defendant. Went to trial. he got acquitted. I got found guilty. I went to prison, man, and he went home. And unfortunately, man, he had a little squabble over his girl at the beach or something. And man, someone killed my best friend, man. I got two best friends. The other one I'm gonna bring on the show hopefully this week. Do you know the author Clifford Spud Johnson? He is from Englewood, taught GD classes in the feds. Also has written some dope fiction books. Man, I know the name, man. I know the name. And one of the dudes, man, that all of you guys might want to check out is Cedric Dean out of North Carolina, DEAN. That dude taught me everything I know. He's out here doing exactly what I'm talking about. He's working with kids. He's got a SAVE organization, Safeguard, Atone, Validate, Educate. He's got a studio, man. He's bringing the kids into studios. He's doing big things, man. And both him and myself, man, we're doing everything that we said we would do. And I made a promise to dudes, man. I said I was going to stand on the table if I got up and tell them, man, I'm going to be the voice of the voiceless. This ain't about, man, YouTube videos, man. This is about getting that platform, man, and pushing things forward. Hopefully I'm going to meet with Seth Ferrante soon. You know, he's the dude from the White Boy Rick movie. You know, he was the one of the directors or whatever. I'm going to definitely talk to Seth, man, see what we can do, man. Chad, you can lead the horse to the water, but can't make him drink it. This generation is super lost. The generation is super lost, man. But you know what? Even if we save one kid, man, we did something, right? And there's people that write on here like, yo, man, I appreciate you, man. You know, you make me think. And these are older dudes too, man, 23, 24, 29. You know, there's some kids out there that need help, man. And I'm going to go ahead and do it, man. I make money, you know, with all the legal work and the paralegal and prison consultant firm. I don't do YouTube to make money. I mean, I would. Why wouldn't I, right? Because I'm a firm believer it's okay to make $1 if you're making a difference. But man, that's not the mission, man. I don't really need it like that. The mission is really to help people, man, and help dudes that are stuck in prison, man. Dudes are stuck in prison suffering. I was suffering. I wrote my judge and said, look, man, I'm suffering. I'm not being punished anymore. I'm suffering, man. I'm suffering. How were the guys from Pittsburgh and Bmore at Big Sandy, black or white dudes? Oh, that's another thing we can comment on, man. The Pittsburgh white dudes, you guys got a hell of a fighter out of there, man. Paul Spatafora. But white dudes from Pittsburgh can fight, man. They're wild, man. Them white dudes can fight. I've seen some white dudes from other places, man, that have been slapped and wouldn't fight back and, man, just crazy stuff like that. Does Baltimore run with D.C. and the Feds? So I heard. It depends on what prison you're at. It definitely depends on what prison you're at. What school would you recommend for a paralegal? If you're sitting in prison, man, Adams State College. One of my good friends, and he's a lawyer. I want to bring him on. He was in federal prison. Brandon Sample, man, one of the best post-conviction attorneys in the country, man. He went there. So definitely, man, smash that like button, man. And share the videos, man. I'm going to put a video out that I did a couple months ago about 924C stacking. And I sent it to the Senate Judiciary Committee. And, you know, we're talking about this in Congress, making all the First Step Act stuff retroactive. So I'm going to put that video out, man. I need to put a video out that just goes viral. And I'm like, dudes are like, you got to get a video to go viral. And I'm like, I don't even know what viral is or how to make a viral video. So anybody that can help me, man, tell me, man. Tell me what I need to do. Because coming from being in prison all them years, man, I don't know. Like I tell my homies when they call me, like, look, bro, this ain't a telephone. Everybody's fascinated with the telephones. I said, bro, this iPhone's a computer, man, with a phone on it. It's not a phone. So anyone that can help me, man, tell me. Do CT dudes run with Boston? No. Most of the time they run with New York dudes, man. Black Connecticut car usually runs with the New York black dudes. I remember Paul Spatafora there. Yeah, that dude, Paul Spatafora was a tough dude. He was married to a black chick, man. He shot her. And I think that derailed his boxing career, man. You know, my stepfather is heavily involved and always was in the boxing community, man. And, you know, I was an amateur fighter as a kid. So I definitely know who the fighters are. Man, can you quickly go over what qualifies someone for compassionate release? Okay, check this out. The First Step Act, what they did was they put it in the hands of the judges, right? You got to go to the BOP director, really the warden, make a request. You have to show that there are extraordinary and compelling reasons for a reduction in sentence. You do not have to be sick to get compassionate release, man. And in my case, I argued that Congress said that the 924C stacking laws, where I got 5 years for a 12-gauge shotgun, 25 years for a 22 rifle, Congress said, look, this is wrong. It shouldn't be 5 and 25. It should be 5 and 5. Or if you brandish the gun at 7 instead of the 5, or if you discharge the gun 10. Congress changed that, but they didn't make it retroactive. And I argued and said, look, this is an extraordinary and compelling reason to reduce the sentence because Congress said this was wrong. This is not what Congress intended when they passed the law, yet this is how the courts were enforcing it. Along with my rehabilitation, man, I did probably over 120 programs in prison, got a college degree in prison. I facilitated, big programs in there. I wrote a reentry program for the prison. And I put all that in there. I said, Judge, this is an extraordinary and compelling reason to reduce my sentence. So, man, just running through it quickly, man, you got to show the judge that there's extraordinary and compelling reasons to reduce your sentence. And that's how you get out on compassionate release. I mean, I just won one, a week ago with Weldon Angelo. Some of you guys might be familiar with him. He had 55 years in prison for having a gun while he allegedly sold marijuana to someone. Me and Weldon put that motion together. We got Solo out. You guys seen the video? So I heard Trump was going to do a Second Step Act. Is that possible? Still in the works? They were just, I'm not calling it the Second Step Act, but Biden's definitely, they're working on some stuff, man. And, Congress was discussing the other day, they marked up the bill to make all that stuff retroactive. I think you're going to see big things from Biden, not necessarily saying I'm a Biden supporter, because I'm really not. I know what he did with the 1994 crime bill. We know what he did to the African-American community, Hispanics, poor whites. I don't get into all that, oh, well, this and that. Look, man, it affects poor whites too, man. Ever met a dude, James Sweeney, white boy, killed cell buddy at Beaumont. I know who Sweeney is, man. I know who he is, homie. I definitely know who he is. Him, Jeremy Bender from Hell's Kitchen, white dude. Jeremy would stab you in a minute too. Quick short videos on the regular. Okay, do you know any guys from New Orleans? Man, I don't really know the New Orleans dudes, but I'm gonna keep it real, dude. There was a New Orleans dude that was horrible at Lee County, man. And he honestly, bro, he was trying to rape this little young dude from Virginia. And the little young dude from Virginia, man, beat the dude with a padlock, man. He got him. He hit him in front of the cops, but he got the dude. If you're coming to Ireland, there's a room in my house to stay. Sounds good, bro. Hit me up on my email. Is there a Puerto Rican car? Yeah, but a lot of the Puerto Rican dudes are Nietas, man. And what's the other gang, man? Or the other group they got? GS 12s or something? I was with a couple of them dudes, pretty good dudes. But yeah, the Puerto Ricans got a car. Let me tell you something, man. Puerto Ricans stick together. Don't care what prison you're at, man. You come in there, man, the dude's got a bag for you, and they look out, man. They definitely look out for you. Right there is a video just like that, the last 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. Thank you, Caitlin, for, giving me that advice. I'm going to do something, I promise. Wow, thank you. Salute Chad in the chat, man. Hey, look, man, I salute all you guys, man. What other USPs were you in, and what USP has the most violence? For me, man, it was Big Sandy, man. Big Sandy, you could be victimized, man. I've seen dudes make up reasons to stab people, man, that weren't true. I'm going to address Winslow, too, in a minute. I was in USP Lee, man. USP Lee was a little bit dangerous. USP Coleman was dangerous. Went to Raybrook. Raybrook was an FCI, but it was dangerous. Bad things happen there. So I want to address this, man, before we get out of here, right? Winslow Davis. I don't see Biden doing shit. He had 47 years to make a change, but I don't see it happening, bro. He showed his true colors too many times. Congress is all talk. I'm praying you're right, brother. Okay, so I'm going to keep it real with you, man. Just the other day, man, you can see it on C-SPAN. I'll try to post it on my Facebook page. I think I already did. I did the other day. They marked up the bill to make that stuff retroactive. I also believe that there's going to be thousands and thousands of clemencies coming for, nonviolent drug offenders and even some violent offenders that have been in there for a long time that deserve a second shot. I promise you that it's coming, bro. I just happen to know a couple people and kind of, I watch the news. Yeah, they've been full of shit for a long time, but let's talk about, Joe Biden. He knows what he did to the African-American community, and let's keep it real, man. The African-American community came out and they voted for him. So he owes it, man. And it's time to pay. It's definitely time to pay. Not that I'm a Biden supporter, but I'm a supporter of second chances for people that deserve to reclaim their lives, man. So if he's doing it, then I'm supporting it. Do you know Billy Lampton from New Orleans? I don't, man. My man was in USP Atlanta and now transferred to USP Victorville. You know anything about Victorville? Carl, I'm going to keep it real with you. If he's in USP Victorville, I got a couple clients over there. It's a dangerous place, man. It's a dangerous, dangerous place. I hate to tell you that, but if he's Hispanic, if he's a South Sider, he's probably good, man. But it's dangerous. Bad things happen there. Let's see. Wasn't Raybrook made for something to do with the Olympics? That was the 1980 Olympics in Lake Placid, and Raybrook was the place where they kept all the athletes, and then they turned it into a federal prison. Ain't that nice? Do you know how Fort Dix is or Otisville? let me keep it real with you, man. When they told me I was going to a low, I was like, man, I don't want to go to Fort Dix. They ended up sending me to Lexington, Kentucky. But man, the prison's off the hook. I mean, there is some violence there, but it's a low. You know, people are partying, and it used to hurt me, man, to think about the street. So going to a place like Fort Dix would hurt me mentally and emotionally. And I try to stay out of the street, man, because it used to destroy me, man. For real, it destroys a lot of people. Is there an Asian or USO car in the feds? Yes, there is an Asian car. There is an Asian car, man. And people respect them, man. People do respect them. Cuba, I was in Otisville, Allenwood, USP, FCI, Memphis. Victorville, he's half black and Puerto Rican. He's half black and Puerto Rican. Is he from New York? It's not a good place. I'm not trying to scare you, but it's not a good place. Bad things happen in Victorville, man. Victorville's probably the most dangerous USP right now. So if he's a gang member, he's in a gang, whatever, maybe it'll be all right. Dave G, man, I appreciate you. So look, man, I'm getting ready to actually go to my mother's house, man. They're going to light off some fireworks over there. So I'm going to go over there. Just want to come out on this live, man, and thank everybody for supporting us. Look, man, I'm trying to push the channel. So if you can, share the videos. You know, I want to start doing some lives on Sunday nights to answer your questions. If anybody wants to see the video like on prisoners with animals, man, let me know because I'll do it. I mean, it don't have to always be all serious, right? We could talk about what's real, man. I mean, it's real. People have emotions, man. There's good dudes in there, man. Dudes in there that just want to get out, man, and be normal and meet a nice chick, man, and have a life, man, and live their best life. There's really good dudes in there. There's some bad dudes, but it is what it is, man. God, his God, sweet. Anything I can do. Anything I can do, I will. Check. Keep coming with the lives. Definitely gonna do the lives, man. I'm gonna try to do them on Sunday nights, man. There's other federal prisons that got the death penalty. Terre Haute, man. Terre Haute. Have a wonderful time. Okay. So look, man, with that, man, we're gonna end the video, man. I just want to let everybody know, man, I appreciate you. You know, bringing it real, man, bringing it raw, and let's grow the channel together, man. It ain't Chad Marks' channel, it's our channel, but it's bigger than that, man. It's the mission. It's not about me. I promise you. I make enough money doing what I do with the Freedom Fighters Paralegal and Prison Consultant Firm, and I got a home improvement company, man, that we're getting ready to start hiring. You know, felons that are coming out of prison, man, putting them to work too. So again, man, I love all of you. I appreciate you. And with that, I'm out.